Hello and welcome to episode 84 of Stitched in Sweden. I'm Maria and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Stitched in Sweden. I haven't been very active on Ravelry in quite a while, but I am trying to keep my projects a little bit more up to date there because I don't do show notes for this podcast, and so I thought that it could perhaps be useful for you in case you're interested in which yarn I'm using and what patterns I'm knitting and that kind of thing. So just as a little public service announcement there. This week I just wanted to give you an update on what I have been working on. I have a couple of finished projects and a few things that I'm currently knitting on. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I finished is this pair of leggings. These are the lace leggings pattern. It's a pattern from Knitting for Olive, and I knit these in Dandelion Yarns. I think, what was it called? I don't remember, but I do have this on a project page. So this is the little lace pattern on the legging, and I did a I-cord drawstring in some scrap yarn that I had. And I knit the smallest size, which I think is 0 to 3 months. She hasn't worn these yet because, of course, as soon as I finished them, it sort of felt like it hasn't been as cold in our apartment lately, which was the purpose of these, was to be kind of an extra outer layer to just, yeah, keep her warm on her legs, kind of like a sweater for her legs. Anyway, we'll see if she wears them, but they were really fun to knit and they're pretty sweet, so win either way. The other project that I finished is the Oslo Hat Mohair edition, and I knit this in Hey Sister yarn, Perfectly Pink. This is their pure base and the fluffy base that I had left over from my no frills sweater. And I knit the junior size large because I kind of came to the conclusion that I've always been knitting hats too large and that I like more negative ease on my hats. I think I tend to knit hats large because I don't want them to crush my hair, but the reality is that most of the time when I want to use a hat, it's because I haven't fixed my hair and I need to go out of the house, and so yeah, I end up not wearing the hats that I knit that are too big because they just look sloppy, and so I decided to knit the junior size large. It's too small. It's close to fitting, so I'm going to go up one size. The sizing on the Mohair edition is a little bit different than the regular version, and the pattern's also a little bit different because it's a different gauge. I weighed this hat and I weighed how much yarn I have left. I started out with a full skein of each, and I think that I will have enough to knit the next size up without ripping this one out, and this one fits my friend, so I would like to give it to her if I can get the hat size for me out of what I have left over. And to make sure that that is possible, I'm going to knit this first part here. This has like a double cuff brim hem, cuff brim, I think, that's folded over. So I'm going to knit this inside part that you don't see from the outside of the hat in a different yarn just to get the same gauge. So I'm going to use this leftover yarn that I have from a cardigan, a sweater pullover that needs to get ripped out because it doesn't, I don't know, it kind of like leaned to the side for some reason. Anyway, I'm going to use this and then some white mohair like, it coordinates with it, but it doesn't, you know, you're not going to see it when I have the hat on. So that will free up a little bit of extra yardage to make both the bigger size, and I want to lengthen it just a little bit as well. So I think that I have more than 50% of the skeins left, so that in itself might be enough to make the larger size, but just to ensure that, I'm going to do this kind of hidden part of the brim in a different color. So, yeah, I'm excited for this hat because I think it's gonna be the one, but I say that all the time, don't I? When we were up visiting Thomas's brother and his family last weekend, I have knit their kids, 2 of their kids, Oslo hats. And I think maybe I knit them last Christmas for them. And their mom asked if I would knit her hat, so I said of course. And well, actually she wanted to know what I was going to do with my too big Oslo hat that I have, which is in black. And I told her that I think it would also be too big for her, and that she could pick whatever color she wanted and I would knit her one. So I'm currently working on this hat for her in navy blue. The yarn is Arwetta Classic. This is the yarn that the pattern calls for. This is color 145, which is navy. And I'm holding it double as the pattern calls for. And when I knit the Oslo hat and I hold the yarn double, I pull from the inside and outside of the skein, whatever this is called. I don't know if it's still called a skein when it's like this. So I'm on the second ball. This is the third one, and I am very close to starting the decreases for the crown of the hat. I will add one of my tags to this, and I am hoping to finish it this afternoon so that I can send it with Thomas up to, yeah, he's going to see them this weekend. So he's doing a skiing race, and they are also going to be participating in the relay part of the race. So if I can knit that this afternoon, I can send it with him. So that is what I've been kind of speed knitting this week. I ordered the yarn from CKnit. I think it's cknit.se. If you are in Sweden and you want this yarn, it's a super fast shipping. The shop has really fast shipping. I ordered it, I think, on Sunday afternoon while we were up at their house, and by Tuesday midday I had it. They have all the colors, and yeah, I've just had a really great experience. So check out that shop if you're looking for Arwetta. And she has a couple of the other Colena, I don't know how to say this brand, but I also have ordered the Tilia, which is the mohair, from her shop as well. Speaking of mohair, a couple of people were interested last time to know what this mohair that I showed was, because I didn't say it clearly enough. I think I replied to everyone in the comments, but I'll just mention again. This is from Adlibris, which is a bookstore here, and it's called Create with Adlibris Amazing Fibers Kid Silk Lace DIY. 75% super kid mohair and 25% silk undyed. This is what it looks like. It is 840 meters for 100 grams. And that's what it looks like on the tag. So if you're interested, it's a relatively more inexpensive way to get a large quantity of undyed mohair if you're looking for that. All right. The other thing that I knit while we were up at Thomas's brother's house, and also during the week since we've been back, is this little cardigan, and I'm calling it this strawberry cardigan because it just reminds me of a strawberry. I knit this in West wool yarn in the bicycle base. There's two different, at least two, they might have more now. This is Stephen West's yarn. The bicycle is the fingering weight, and I think tandem is DK. I still need some buttons for this. This is the Ellen, it's the cardigan from the Ellen's playset, which includes a cardigan and a little bloomers pattern from Petite Knit. And I knit the size, the third size, which I think is 2 to 4 months. So Eloise is 2 months, I think she's 9 weeks old, and this is definitely too big for her right now, but she's growing really fast, so I think she'll fit into it soon, and I think it will be a nice kind of spring weight cardigan because of the eyelets. It's just a lighter weight, something to throw on over. So yeah, I really enjoyed knitting this. I think the color is really pretty. And I picked up this yarn while we were in Amsterdam visiting my friends, so it's a nice kind of memory from that. I had originally cast on one of the larger sizes, but part of the way knitting it, I kind of felt like, okay, I want this for the first summer, or spring and summer, and the size was just huge, and I was also going to run out of yarn, and I only had one skein and didn't really feel like ordering a whole extra skein, so I ripped back and recast on in a smaller size, and I'm really happy that I did that. So yes, all that's left for this is some buttons, and actually a friend who we visited in Amsterdam is coming to visit this weekend, so maybe we will make it to a button shop while we're out and about, and so I can pick out some buttons for this. Currently, the cardigan that Eloise is wearing is My Little Hearts, and this is the steeked version that I made for the revised pattern. That I updated the pattern kind of recently, and I did one instructions for both the steeked version and for knitting it in the round, or knitting it flat. This is knitting it in the round and steeking it, and then I also did instructions for knitting it flat back and forth, which means that you have to do color work on the right and wrong side. So she has been wearing this, and this is, I think this is the newborn size. It's just a nice little layer. I knit this in Wool Barn in one of her fingering weight yarns, and the hearts are out of a Madeline Tosh unicorn tail, that's what they're called. It's a single ply, and the sweater itself is a plied yarn that just has like a subtle green color and little speckles to it that I think are really sweet. So she's been getting wear out of this one, and she has a black one too that I think I showed before, but maybe that was on the episode that disappeared. She has a black one that also has a unicorn tail, kind of grayish blue for the hearts, that she wears also regularly, and that one I knit flat, but it's in the laundry at the moment. So yeah, I thought I would, don't worry, this is lukewarm. I'll show you my mug. This is from my sister. It is Rifle Paper Co. I love it. It has an M on it. Yeah. I have one other thing that I'm knitting at the moment, and I have refound my love for this project, I guess. I think I'm knitting the Magnolia pullover, and here it is. You can see that I am just at the bottom ribbing here, and I still have to knit the sleeves. But I really like how this pattern is knitting up. I really enjoyed the baubles. It has some nice lace, twisted rib, and I'm just on the bottom hem there. This yarn that I'm knitting with is also from Adlibris, and it's called Knitted Alpaca Cloud. It's 70% superfine alpaca, 7% merino, and 23% nylon. And here's the tag for you. This has 130 meters for 50 grams, and I was knitting this actually before Eloise was born, and it's going pretty fast because the yarn is a lot thicker than yarn that I usually knit with, and it's just simple, fluffy, nice to knit. Actually, it's not that nice to knit, so that was one thing, is that it took a little while to get used to knitting with it. This yarn is a bit splitty. I don't know if you can see the texture of it at all, but it's a little bit splitty, and I think that it would be better if I had less pointy needles, but I prefer to knit with Haya sharps, and I think it's funny how some people really hate these needles, but they are my favorite needles, so to each their own. But I think for this particular project it would be better to have less pointy needles, because yeah, the yarn does catch a bit. That being said, after a little while on this project I got used to it, and I don't have a problem with splitting the yarn anymore. But I didn't knit a swatch for this. I think I cast this on when I was very pregnant and just feeling like I just need something to keep me busy and for these last couple days and that kind of thing. And I just felt like I don't have time to swatch, which is really not smart. So I knit basically the whole sweater. I just had the bottom ribbing left to do, and I hadn't tried it on. I had no idea if it fit me. And I think I needed to switch it to a larger cable in order to be able to try it on. And I was just delaying. And I think the reason why I was delaying is because I was worried that it just wasn't going to fit at all. But I finally... Oh, the other thing was that I always thought about trying it on when I had her in this wrap, which obviously can't try it on with her in here. Finally, I moved it to a longer cord and tried it on, and it actually fits really well. I really like the round yoke of the sweater. There's some short row shaping at the back neck that's included in the pattern that makes the back of the neck higher than the front, which is key to having a good fit on your sweater. And yeah, I think it's gonna be really warm. It's definitely gonna be like a mid-winter, only when it's really cold kind of sweater. But it's gonna fit really nicely. So yeah, my motivation to finish this returned, but then I decided that I wanted to finish the Oslo hat quickly so that I could send it up with Thomas. So then this got put on hold again. But I'm getting very close to the length that I want it to be. I think I'll probably do maybe 2 or 3 more rows before I start a tubular bind off, which I also did tubular cast on for the neck. I don't think that that was in the pattern, but yeah, you know that it's my preferred method, so that's what I do. Yeah, so I'm excited to knit that again and finish up the sleeves. I have a lot of projects that I've just been kind of dream knitting. To me, dream knitting is when you're just like looking at the yarn that you have and thinking about what projects you want it to be, or browsing Ravelry and finding projects that you want to knit, and hopefully not buying yarn until you actually want to start the project, but just kind of, yeah, dreaming about what projects that you want to be knitting. And I have been doing that a lot lately when I am feeding her, or yeah, sitting on the couch in a way that I'm not able to knit, and looking in my cabinet here that has my yarn. So I've just been thinking about some of the projects that I want to do, and I'm really excited to cast on the Whitmore Pullover, which is a pattern from Amy of Little Tailoress Studios. And I think I'm going to use this yarn, and possibly I have Arwetta in cream that I think I could use. I really wanted it to be more white, but I have enough of the cream yarn in Arwetta that I wouldn't need to order anymore, so I think that's a more responsible choice, and I'll probably do that. Well, talking about that Whitmore sweater reminded me of another project that I finished and knit and finished since the last time I talked to you, and I talked about it on my special episode where I reviewed some of the baby projects that I have made and whether or not she wears them and that kind of thing. And this is, but I haven't talked about it here, so I wanted to do that. This is a little bear hat, and this is a pattern also from Knitting for Olive. I don't know if I mentioned that. That's where the little lace leggings are from. This pattern is currently only available in Norwegian, and I know that the pattern is coming in English, German, maybe French, don't quote me on that, but she has most of the patterns available in quite a few languages. Currently this one is in Norwegian. I was able to knit it using Google Translate and the help of one of my friends. It wasn't super easy to follow with Google Translate. I'm sure that the English pattern itself will be easy to follow, but there's some kind of interesting shaping here that happens with the ears and at the back that creates this little bonnet shape. It's a really smartly constructed pattern, and I really enjoyed knitting it. There's an I-cord here. Next time I wouldn't hold the mohair on the I-cord because it's just like extra fluff near her mouth that I think is unnecessary. So knitting this kind of made me realize that I might want to knit the Whitmore in a single ply yarn held double with the mohair, which is what this is, and I think it just turned out really pretty. It has a nice drape to it, yeah, a nice kind of sheen as well, and I think that it could be really nice as a sweater, but at the same time, I think I should probably just knit it in the yarn that I already have. So we'll see what I decide about that. I did want to just follow up on the baby projects. I forgot to mention, I don't know how, these pajamas, these like footy onesies. This is something that we use every day. Well, every night she wears these to bed. And it's a pattern from Brindle and Twig footy onesie. It does take a little bit of time to make this because there's a lot of parts. It takes a lot of time to actually trace out the pattern and cut the pattern, like, because there's the little foot part, the top of the foot, the little ankle. Yeah, there's a lot of parts, but it is totally worth it. Fits really well. It has a little gusseted crotch part, snaps up here that go down on the leg, and yeah, I just find that this is a really staple piece in her wardrobe at the moment. Unfortunately, I made 3 in 0 to 3 month size, which we use all 3 of them pretty regularly, like we rotate them. And I only have 1 in the size 3 to 6 months. So I wish I had made some more in different sizes, but who knows. I guess I was thinking maybe she wouldn't be wearing long sleeve pajamas in the summer, but she probably will be because it's cold here. I don't know. So I might make some more of these if I manage to ever get in front of my sewing machine again. So that was just a little bit of a sidetrack, but an update from the last special episode. So that's really what I have been knitting on the past couple weeks. I thought that I would just share 2 more handmade gifts that we received for Eloise because they're just really beautiful, and I think I'm usually the one giving handmade gifts because I like making things, but I don't often receive handmade gifts, so it's been really special to receive so many thoughtful handmade gifts for her. So I'll share this one first because it's knitted, and this is the, I actually don't know what it's called now, but I know that it's from Loop London, so probably on their Ravelry site you could find this pattern. This little cardigan is super sweet. I actually saw this cardigan in the window at Loop when I visited a couple of years ago, and this is knit by my friend Andrea. Andrea knits, I think, on Ravelry, or on, let's see what she is, on Instagram. She knits really nice things and she styles her Instagram photos really nicely. So she is andrea.knits on Instagram. So she made this sweet little cardigan, and it's in Madeline Tosh DK, I believe. I really like that it has a nice big button. I talked a little bit about that last time with the little hearts, that I think the buttons were too small. So for that strawberry cardigan, or what I'm calling the strawberry cardigan, I'm going to look for some larger buttons. So anyway, I appreciate this large button on here. Super cute little cardigan, and I think that the color looks really nice on her with her eye color and everything. So that was a really nice gift to receive this week. Another handmade item that I wanted to share, we got this in December when she was born. Came with my parents, but I just thought I would show it to you because it's so beautiful and a little bit different. So this is a duvet cover that is embroidered. It also has a duvet in it, actually. Gotta do a little bouncing. This was made for Eloise by one of my dad's co-workers, colleagues, I guess you could say. who I think watches the podcast, so hi Michaela if you're watching. And this is just beautifully embroidered and very springy and just gorgeous. So it's the perfect size for her crib, and yeah, I just think it's something that, yeah, she will, I will certainly love it for a long time, and I hope she will too. And I think, if I remember correctly, she said that it was a good size that later you could turn it into a pillowcase, which I think is a great idea. So those are 2 handmade gifts that we received that I just wanted to share with you. The other thing that I wanted to just give you an update on is the journaling project that I wanted to do as kind of like a memory thing for her. And I have it here in my traveler's notebook. I'll just show you the front page here. I got her footprints there, and I'll give you like a little quick flip through. What I've been doing is just writing a little bit about, not necessarily, kind of about the pictures, or just kind of things that were happening around when those pictures were taken. And yeah, I just am really happy with how it's turning out. I have decided to, for now, keep ordering the prints from, it's called My Fuji print or something, rather than buying one of the small printers. But thank you for all of your feedback on that. We'll see. So far it's working really well. I'm using one of my favorite pens from Kaweco. There's Kaweco pens. I have a couple, and I am using this Kaweco All Sport rose gold one, and I have this in the fine tip, and this currently has I think it's called Midnight Blue ink in it. Yeah, I also really like this green one that I have. I'll just show you that one. Yeah, I really like these fountain pens. They are just kind of a fun way to, I don't know, be more intentional with your writing and enjoy it with some special tools. So these are my pens that I have, and they all have different size tips and currently also different color inks. So I'm using those in that kind of journal thing. I think it is time for somebody to get a little bit of food. So that's all from me this week. I hope that you are enjoying your knitting, and hopefully next time I talk to you I will have cast on the Whitmore pullover. Happy knitting! Bye!